Perception is often different from reality. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you an update on the 15,000 Haitians who are or were up under the bridge in Del Rio, Texas, trying to get into the USA illegally. Now, we're going to cover quite a bit. We're going to cover one of the elephants in the room from at least my point of view, which is how did you get from Haiti to Del Rio? From Port-au-Prince to Del Rio, that's 2,000 miles, and mostly that's over the Gulf of Mexico. So how did they get from point A to point B within 1 week? 15,000 Haitians, boom, at the border immediately. How did that happen? Also, we got to talk about these pictures of the horses and the so-called whips. And we got to talk about where the Haitians are right now. Are they still up under the bridge? 15,000 of them. Where are they at? Did they get deported? Let's start with the first thing. How did they get to Del Rio, Texas to begin with? Well, let's go back a little bit. Let's explain how this whole thing came to be. Now, there were about 600 to 800 Haitians who were going to get deported from this particular area. They were going to get put on the plane and sent back to Haiti, if I'm not mistaken. Now, there were some phone calls from D.C. that ultimately stopped the deportation. So I presume, and maybe I'm wrong, if I'm wrong about this, let me know in the comments below. I presume they were allowed to stay. So what happens? Oh, they bringing out their cell phones and all this and that. They emailing, texting, calling their family back home and say, hey, come on, it's lit. We good. Come on right now. If you come to the border right here in Del Rio, they're not going to deport you. You're going to get into the USA. Okay. That's the first thing. So when they made that call, everybody came that was able to come. So you go from 600 to 800 people who were going to get deported and didn't get deported to 15,000 Haitians, boom, 1 week. That's what happened. So then you see this massive people in Del Rio up under the bridge. It got to the point where they're taking straws and grass, trying to build temporary structures because understand this. This is South Texas, desert type area. It's 100 degrees in the shade during the daytime. Food is scarce. Water is scarce. They got maybe about 8 or 9 porta potties that I was able to see for 15,000 people. It's not enough. So the porta potties are just torn to pieces. They are using the restroom wherever they can. They're going into the Rio Grande to take a bath. It's a whole big mess, right? It's a whole big mess. But that's the reason why they're there. But they were able to get there quickly because a lot of these Haitians were not in Haiti when they got the call. And I'll explain. After the earthquake that happened a few years back, a lot of Haitians fled and were granted asylum in places like Brazil and Chile. And I think one of the clues that kind of tipped me off to what's going on is they were interviewing one of these guys and they were speaking Spanish. I'm like, I know what Haitians speak, that Creole French. It's not Spanish. Okay, so either they're Dominican or some kind of something else. They're not Brazilian because they speak Portuguese. So where's the Spanish coming from? What's going on? It's probably because they've been in Chile since 2013, 2014. And now all of a sudden they get a call many years later. And the time is now. Come on in. There's no more Trump. You're not going to get deported. There won't be any real border patrol. You'll pretty much get escorted right into the country. And that's why there were some people right there in such a short period of time, because a lot of them did not come straight from Haiti. They were already in South America, just waiting. Years they were waiting for the opportunity to come across the border. So they came. Now, this led to some of the pictures. As I said, you saw some of the pictures of them with the little temporary grass huts, the grass structures, trying to hide from the crazy heat, the deplorable, nasty, ridiculous conditions, because this is not supposed to be a refugee camp. This ain't Afghanistan or somewhere like that, somewhere third world Africa. This ain't that. This is a US of A. This should be a building of some sort. Remember when they said Trump was he was disgusting, he was racist for having the kids in so-called cages. Well, how about having the kids outside in 100-degree heat, pregnant women, everything else? How about that? That's not really a problem. Anyway, there's pictures that came out of officers, Border Patrol officers on horses with so-called whips in their hands while they're trying to grab up Haitians and trying to just corral them. Now, this has prompted all types of reactions, talking about, you got to fire the Border Patrol. Maxine Waters talking about this is worse than slavery. We need to launch an investigation right now about the treatment of Haitians. They made it into like a Black Lives Matter type thing where they're saying justice for Haitians, let them stay, all this, that, and the third, because people are thinking that the Border Patrol are whipping the Haitians. There is no whipping happening. What you see are horse reins. It's just to make the horse be able to go from point A to point B. It's for the Border Patrol agent to use for the horse. It's not a whip. Nobody got whipped. That's not a whip. An actual whip is something that has much more length and it can, extend and hurt. Not a horse rein that even if they did hit somebody with it, it wouldn't actually hurt. It wouldn't actually do anything. The horse reins are for the horses, but it's all about optics, right? The media could put out images or things like this and make it look like a thing, although it's not. So I think at least one of the officers, or maybe more, who were on a horse with the so-called whips, which are horse reins, not whips, they got put on administrative duty, or they may have even gotten fired over simply doing their job. The horses are there for crowd control. I'm from Virginia. You guys know I've been down to the ocean front in Virginia Beach many times, 4th of July, occasions like that. And every time I'm out there, they have horses. They have officers on horseback for crowd control. I'll tell you a quick story, and then I get back to the whole thing with the Haitians and the bridge and whatnot. We're at the ocean front, 4th of July, something like that. It's me and some friends. And one of my friends goes behind a Dairy Queen or something like that right there on the strip to pee. So as he's getting ready to pee right behind this store, an officer on a horse rolls up on him. I'm talking about when you see a horse trotting at you, it can kind of startle you because they're big and they're fast. And a horse is not trying to trample you, to make that clear. Horses are going to generally avoid humans. They don't want to step on you. They don't want to trample you. They don't want to do that naturally, but they will run up on you. So when that happened, my friend got startled. He's, it's kind of a mess. But I think what happened was he got a ticket for like indecent exposure or public urination or something like that. I'm not sure what it was, but the horses are for crowd control. It ain't to hurt you or anything like that. No Haitians got hurt by the horse. It's all about crowd control because you got so many people from so many places, thousands of people. They got to try to contain that some kind of way. The horses are for that reason. There was no mistreatment. There was no beating in the Haitians or nothing like that. You're seeing an unprecedented scene because of the border policy, where the Biden administration say, hey, we're not going to deport anybody. Come one, come all. They say, don't go to the border. You're going to get turned away. But when there were some Haitians who were going to get sent back and didn't get sent back, that is a different message than the one that you put out there officially. So they're going to call all their friends and family and be like, come on over. Now, here's the next part. At one point, you had 15,000 Haitians up under the bridge, right around that. There were also some West Africans and whatnot, some Nigerians, Ghanaians, maybe possibly, but mostly Haitians. 99% Haitians from what I'm able to read. Now, that number is a little over 3,000 right now. So the question is, where are the rest of the Haitians? You still got about 12,000 unaccounted for. Where are they at? Well, I say between 2,000 and 3,000 have been deported back. I'm not really sure where quote unquote back is because, again, a lot of them have been in Chile for the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So I'm not really sure where back refers to. Are they going to send them to Port-au-Prince arbitrarily, or are they going to send them back to Mexico? I have no idea. But between 2,000 and 3,000 have been sent back. And right around the same amount are still up under the bridge. So, hey, I'm no Albert Einstein. I'm no math genius, but I think we are missing a few people here, right? If there were 15,000 and let's just say 5,000 were either deported or are still there, you still got 10,000 that are unaccounted for. Where are they at? Inside the country? Because deportations only applied to single males. But you got plenty of women, children, whole family units, mom, dad, kids, pregnant women, all of that. They are going to stay and they're going to get into the country. That's what's going on. That's the reality. This did not happen under Trump because Trump had actual border policies. You know, I'm reading some comments on some of these Instagram pages and whatnot, the shade room, things of that nature. They're talking about, oh, it's the same border policy under Trump. This is Trump's policy. No, it's not. This never happened under Trump. Find me one time something like this happened under Trump. It didn't happen. Trump was trying to build a wall. If the wall was already built and you had a border patrol that were able to do their job and to keep illegal aliens out, then this wouldn't have happened. As I said before, a lot of these Haitians had been in Chile and Brazil for years, almost 10 years now. Why are they just now trying to cross? Well, it's wide open. Biden said he's not going to deport us. That's why they're there. That's why you got 15,000 people up under the bridge, right? That's why. And I don't want to hear word one about quote unquote inhumane treatment. What are you going to do in a small town with very few resources and 15,000 people that show up at once illegally? Just like if you are at your house, you got regular food and whatnot, you got some sardines and a bowl of cereal, whatnot, in your refrigerator, and that's it. And all of a sudden, you got 100 people that show up talking about, yeah, give me somewhere to sleep, give me something to eat, give me all that. How are you going to be able to do it when you can't even feed yourself barely? See, this is the same thing that's happening right there at the border. It's not Border Patrol's fault. It's not Del Rio, Texas, and the citizens or the mayor. It's not their fault. It's not the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. It's not his fault. You got to blame the federales. You got to blame the federal government, Joe Biden, and his policies. That's who you pointing the finger at, not anyone else. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this whole thing with the Haitians up under the bridge and the majority of them being allowed into the country? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. This is a disaster. This is a mess. And you have many more people coming over other than Haitians. You got every country almost in the world coming through the southern border right now because it's wide open. Why not bring drugs? Why not bring guns? Why not human traffic? Why not do whatever we want? Because there is no security thanks to the federales, right? They're talking about, oh, you got to wear a mask. You got to do that. You got to get a vaccine mandate. But Haiti has like almost a 0% vaccination rate, and they're allowed to come in here 15,000 deep, no distancing, no mask, no nothing, and it's fine. The policies that we have do not make sense. They're contradictory. And at a certain point, I hope that people that voted for Joe Biden and any liberal Democrat are able to see what's happening and how it doesn't make any sense. And hopefully the next time they vote, they go a different way because they do the same thing over and over again. At a certain point, that's called insanity. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.